Hey guys, and welcome to our version of Walking Britain's Lost Railways. Today we are going to be walking the converted section of the St Helens to Runcorn Gap Railway, a very important cargo line that ran through our hometown. So today we're going to be starting at Robin's Lane, near St Helens Monastery, which is where the line is technically converted from. So enjoy! Right guys, on the other side of Robin's Lane Bridge, that's the other side.
This is lower.
Yeah. Then this one up here, we're going to go up there. But down here is basically where the point system to join onto the Lee Green line, or the main line.
But it went onto the main line, which is the Liverpool to Manchester Railway, towards St Helens Junction. That's what's called St Helens Junction, if you ever wondered. So basically, we're going to follow the
top line
Gap Railway in a minute. We're going to walk this sort of embankment and sort of explore that. We'll get to the intersection in a bit, and then while I get stung by nettles, Jack will.
I think once we're up here, which is a bit of a mess as well. However, there is a path here because this is very much publicly used by the people in this area. As you can see, this is an actual path. Obviously it just runs to the bridge because no one can get through it. So yeah, this then runs all the way down to the intersection, which, just for the record, when we get there, and we'll talk about it a bit more, is the first place in the entire world where one railway went over another. Now unfortunately the bridge does no longer stand, and again we will see that when we get there.
Quite recently actually, and then they took it down.
So we'll see all that when we get there. Now here is also quite important. So here is the Gap Railway where we'll be heading, that travels all the way down to Witness and Runcorn. This one here, you can kind of see curves off. It starts here and that goes all the way up to St Helens Junction.
But I believe that this bit here is a tunnel, because you can see that with the shape.
Yeah, no, it's a bit weird this, because the tunnel evidently isn't here anymore. However, we've got these two sides here. We've got one there, and we've got one over there.
Probably a bridge as well.
Yeah, so
I think
it looks like it must have gone through there.
Railway that went underneath.
But possibly. It's a bit strange because on this side here is the area known as St Anne's, and you can see the monastery here in a way. The lighting is very difficult, but you can kind of see the windows of the monastery here. Okay, which is means it's a bit strange. On the road here, so there is St Anne's Monastery. If you look here, you can see what appears to just be a bit misshapen compared to the rest of the land, and with all these bricks laying about here, it could very much be that this did indeed run underneath here, which is a bit strange. Now the next part we'll go to is the engine sheds, which is a very interesting place indeed, so we'll cut that. Okay guys, so here on Monastery Road, where it crosses Monastery Lane and Monastery Road, there is this bridge here. So this bridge here literally runs straight through. Well, no, this is there's engine sheds down here. It's quite interesting. And these here are the engine sheds. Now with the junction line that literally runs down the back of there, these four here were all engine sheds for the cargo line or the train, anything. Obviously they're really not in the best of nick anymore, however they do still freestand here, which is really interesting. So ignoring the building work going on behind us, we're actually here at the intersection. So basically it's a bit hard to see this dirt path, alright? And that is where the cargo line used to continue all the way down to where it crosses Reginald Road. Now the Reginald Road bridge is no longer standing also, meaning that there isn't really much standing around here.
Right, where this big brick is here, this is the old. So
this is kind of the
there. Now you used to be able to go across it. I've seen it and been across it many times. It's no longer been here. It's been about about 10 years since they got rid of it. Probably a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Now, basically this was the first ever railway over a railway. So, this was basically you have the footbridge over there as well. But this was sort of...
Okay, and with a change of angle, you can kind of see through this fence here.
I don't know whether we got any of what I was like trying to...
Basically, there you can see where the wall would have been for the first ever railway bridge to cross another railway.
But the thing is, this was the first ever railway intersection, and it crossed the first ever railway, basically. First ever mainline railway was crossed over by a railway.
Yeah, exactly.
3 years after it was built. So obviously the Liverpool to Manchester, which we are stood along here, famous for the Rainhill Trials and Stevenson's Rocket.
Literally ran along this line here,
Yes.
which is absolutely mental, as you can see. It runs there and that way. Yeah.
There's a train due, isn't there?
No, that was it. So
okay, so this was 1829 for this railway, basically around that time. The gap was built in 1832, so not long after. Obviously, it was very different back then to what it is now and what it was when it shut. But the next leg of our journey is on tarmac because they've got rid of most of the way.
exactly. So yeah, that's it. This actually is completely disappeared now, and so yeah. As you can see, the footbridge is the only kind of remaining thing left. Right, guys. So obviously, Catherine to come off the line, cross the road. We are now, we are now back here. This is the bridge that obviously doesn't really go over anything. This is like a footpath.
We removed this as well.
Yeah, obviously there has been bits removed, but yeah.
Right, we are Hawa, also known as the start of the next leg, which is that way.
So this is all technically being turned into a footpath?
Yeah, apart from that way. But if you can actually go that way, you'll just end up falling into Reginald Road and then hurting and dying and then massive painful death.
They do have
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, they do have a fence in place. However, this is just kind of the stones laid down this way.
Yes. Oh, sugar, that's my hand over there.
This is technically just a clean, smooth path all the way down to Willow Tree Primary School. Is probably the best way of describing it. So yeah, this does head all the way there in a very smooth and nice path. The roof of it has now been completed, and so now we're set to go.
Yep, so we'll also keep you updated if we come to any form of stations. I don't think there's any apart from the first one I think is Clock Face, but I'm not sure. But there is sort of some farmland coming along here where you'll see some nice open stretches when eventually all of this crap's been moved. But it is actually quite nice at the minute, especially with the sun out. And we are protected from the sun at this point, we're not like getting burnt out. Yeah. But basically we're going to continue walking on the railway until we get to Runcorn Gap Station, which is interesting enough. There's a lot of history around that. But when we get there, we'll sort of keep you updated along the way and sort of keep doing a lot of stuff, which will be interesting. We've seen Jack walking along this. So you've got ballast though. I mean, I believe there was track here for quite a while, but
again, these are all still good quality stones to be fair. They're all clean. They're all
I think they've been relaid to make it a walk. I mean, look how beautiful this is.
These are also generically smaller than the ones that we've seen on the last bit of the line. Meaning that all that's really happened here is like the line's being removed, really. All that's really happened. And I think the Lincoln Council are planning on doing the same as this on all the stuff that we've seen. Right, okay guys, so now I'm reaching the end of the path here. And down there basically goes to, like, yeah, it is a farm. Yeah, it does run into the Clock Face, and I believe we'll show you the other side of the farm once we're there on Clock Face Road.
However, have to turn off the line.
Yes, we head on this little dirt trail here, and this is basically the equivalent of how to continue following it, because that way you've not got a chance, because it's not there.
I came down here in the winter, and we couldn't get past here.
Yeah. So it is a bit bad during the winter, again, because it's This is literally just like grass. I don't know who this belongs to or what it is, 'cause it's not really a park. And I don't think the school own it.
The end of the walk, that's like
So
the
it's
exit to the walk.
It's a bit weird, but it's just kind of here. So yeah, we'll show you once we get back onto the road. Right guys, and here we are, coming up to this mini roundabout here, which is a bit weird why there is one, because there's literally nothing there. But this here is the primary school, in which you end up at. So yeah, here we go. There's a little mini roundabout. Right, okay, we're now joining Clockface Road. Okay, this is kind of, well, again, we've got to equivalent walk it, because obviously the remains of where this cargo line used to cross is no longer here. Right guys, here at a little it's a corner shop here, and this is where the old point of turning is. Okay, so it's called Farm Road, okay, and this is where you want to go up here. Yeah. Okay, so here is Farm Road, and then we'll just continue walking through this little housing estate here. Okay, and then where this lamppost is, you can turn right, and that will cleanly take you into Sutton Manor Woodland, also known as the Dream. This lamppost here, we then turn up here, here's the gate, and then you're into Sutton Manor Woodland, which is very interesting, and the ex-land of Sutton Manor Colliery. So here we cut out quite a bit of content just on the grounds of that we didn't really record much, just because we were walking through so much public territory and we thought it'd be a bit weird to be recording. So I'm just going to try and run it through in a bit on a map. As you can see here, we walked down Clockface Road and then joined in at the Dream, where the cargo line would have ran down the side of the Sutton Manor Colliery here, down kind of the east side. And that's where it would have maybe picked up coal and so on. So yeah, then it would have continued down where we're about to walk down the Sutton Farm
now
Road.
heading pretty south of the Dream Head itself. Yeah, the Dream Head is up on that hill. But we're just heading on this path now. It's a long path, and we'll tell you when we get there. It's the interesting bit. Okay, yeah, so we're here at the motorway. This is the end. It's like the most easterly point, I believe, of the Sutton Manor Woodland. As you can see, this I believe is the M62. This
One of them.
yeah. So yeah, and here is a beautiful little path that goes underneath the motorway. Now, what's a bit mad about this path is if you don't actually know the history of it, you might think that this path is absurd, because this goes under a motorway and two other roads, which is absolutely mental. So I mean, yeah, it's great that this is here, and this is literally the ex-stretchings of the cargo line. You know what I mean? This is exactly where it went, and this then travelled all the way down to the River Mersey, where we will be going at the end of this video. As you can see here, this is the Farmworth Sutton Greenway. So obviously we're in Sutton right now, and the end that it goes to is in is Farmworth, which is an area in Witness. And obviously the Witness town centre is 4 miles, which I don't really know how to get to the town centre, but I do know how to get to Witness Waterfront, which is where we will be going, which is 4.5 miles away. So 4.5 miles this way. Let's go. Right, okay, look, as you can see guys, this is an absolutely straight path. It's unbelievable. And so yeah, this is actually stunning, and you can definitely see that the line would have ran here because of it's absolutely just so deathly straight, and it's mental. Yeah, it's great. Okay, and straight ahead here you can kind of see a bridge. This is a road bridge, and I think it's made out of sandstone. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's actually called the 5 Arches. Now, you can't actually see all 5 arches because they've all been covered and filled. I don't think intentionally, but either way, that's what's happened. It's actually a listed bridge, meaning that no one can touch it, which is very nice to know.
and yeah, it is very useful. Here there is also a information board on this, which is actually really interesting, you see. So yeah, 1982.
140 for
So
9 years old.
yeah, so this is actually the entire thing. So this is where we are now, Bold Bridge, which is what that's called. That's where we started in Sutton Manor Colliery. That's where we're going to end, and that is indeed a whole thing.
Yeah, these are sort of locos you'd have seen. So that's the rocket, obviously very bad representation of it. Yeah. This is Liverpool to Manchester.
So
we saw that before.
So yeah, that is actually the intersection
there,
where we were when we were on about the first ever.
And that was
bridge.
the road that goes past underneath.
Yeah.
Then these are the sort of locos that would have ran in the sort of early 1900s.
Yeah.
19th century, shall I say? Late 19th century-ish, so 1840s, 50s. Because that was 1829 for rocket. So, and then you've got sort of, you can't see this picture enough, but we'll try and find some sort of representation. Yeah. Steam moving the coal. This is what the sort of the railway used to look like back in the day. That's 1962, so it was steam. That was after nationalisation, so that was the very end of steam, really. But it's just sort of.
So this is a very good information board, and I'm glad obviously it's here to teach people about what it does. There's a lot of information there about the St Helens and Runcorn Gap Railway. Okay, the lighting's got a bit worse, but this is obviously a bit closer, and if you kind of look at the brickwork above this arch, you can kind of see it replicated throughout.
Yeah,
and there were indeed 5 arches here. However, I don't believe you can walk through any of them that isn't this one, and I know the lighting is absolutely dreadful, but yeah. So yeah, this bridge was indeed bombed by a German Zeppelin, God knows why.
1918,
but it would have absolutely,
it would have been absolutely.
Oh well, actually, these are bricked in. I've just seen that arch over there is indeed bricked in, and so I presume the others are as well, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, at least one of them is still functioning. Okay, so in a minute we were going to address the fact that this actually spirals off into 2 directions. Now I don't know if you see it properly there, but there is actually a bridge, and I'll try and get it up in Google Earth in edit. But at the end of this path, you can actually see that it splits off into 2 ways, and one is the way that we're going to be going and ends up around the Rivendell Garden Centre. Obviously that's as of recording. I don't know if it will ever change in the future. I don't know the future. So yeah, and so and the other way is it splits off and goes over at Watkinson Way, which is also known as the Witness Expressway.
Yes.
And that actually has its very own footbridge. Okay, and it leads only onto this path, and it's very cycle accessible, meaning that it doesn't actually have steps on either side, which is mental. However, we won't be going there, but hopefully you've seen it in Google Earth or something.
Also, about the Watkinson Way in Malarkey. The railway used to go there, but there's no trace of it after we finished this bit, because it's all been built upon in the last 40 odd years. So that's down to the fact that they built upon it with the Watkinson Way and stuff, so it doesn't actually trace anywhere after that until sort of Catholic Museum, basically, at Spike Island. So.
Which is mental, really. So as you'll be able to see on the map, Watkinson Way is now in presence of where this track used to go.
Appleton Station, which you'll see on the maps and stuff, is no longer there. It's a housing estate basically now, and there's no stations sort of before or after that. But it used to attach on at Witness, and there's loads of different railways around us that, like round there, that serve Liverpool. One way over the Runcorn Bridge, that goes to like North Wales that way basically, and then comes the other way on a freight only line from the sort of dock, and it used to attach on there loads of different ways. So the railway network was busy basically. It was huge, and so it's now all gone a bit kaput since this has been gotten rid of basically. So, but yeah, we'll catch up with you when we sort of get to the next sort of level.
Yeah, we'll get on to when we get to this fork here. We'll show you really what we mean. Okay, so reaching the crossroad here, that is down to this bridge that I have just seen. You can, that crosses at Watkinson Way there. It's a bit hard to see, but it is kind of there where all these trees stick out. Yeah, it's literally there. Okay, we've seen this sign here, and it says that the town centre is 2.7 miles away and the waterfront is 3.2. And we've still got 3.2 miles. I don't know how they've measured that, because I don't know if we're going on a conventional route, but whatever. And then St Helens town centre is 5.4 miles away, and we've actually walked 1.3 miles from the Dream. And then on the back here, that is the Cranshaw Bridleway, equestrian access from the Greenway. And I think the bridge, I think the reason why that's cyclist friendly is because it's also horse friendly. So yeah, I guess it's onwards now. We will be leaving the Sutton Greenway very soon, and then we'll be walking through Witness for a bit until we finally rejoin at the Mersey. So yeah, hold on, let's have a look. Here.
So this is the railway, and then bang, there's the motorway.
Yeah, so that's it. So that's where we started, all the way down here. Here is the Watkinson Way there. Here is the footpath that goes over the Watkinson Way, and then here is where we're going, where we'll be coming off, where this here is the garden centre, and we will literally just be leaving off here. So onwards, I guess. Okay, we're now reaching the end.
Well, we've already come to the end.
Well, yeah. Well, look, the Sutton Greenway will come to the end of where we'd last filmed that clip at the crossroads of, or like the fork, was indeed where the end of the railway following goes. However, we will rejoin it obviously further on. However, it is literally traced by a dual carriageway now, meaning that we literally cannot do anything. So now we're on Mill Lane. Witness Waterfront is apparently 3 miles away, so it's 3 miles to the Mersey. Again, I don't know how they measure that. I don't know if it's how the bird flies. We're absolutely screwed.
You mean
There's the Dream. Same difference. The Dream is 1.5 miles away. Town centre's 5.6, so the garden centre down there, and this is the way we're going. So good luck to us. By this point, we were getting quite tired. I don't know if you could tell. We are panting quite a bit. This was in around like mid-20s in Britain, which is quite high for us. And so doing this much walking, because we did do more walking before what is recorded, so yeah, we were quite tired by this point, and so you can probably start hearing that in my voice. And there's no explanation why we seem so out of breath, and that will only get progressively worse coming to the end of this video, so I thought I'd address it. Yeah. Okay, so we're now on Moorfield Road, I believe it says there.
Yeah,
I mean that we're just, well, it's, yeah, there's no signs of railway. However, just if you want to do this walk yourself, we'll just continue to track the walk of how we're doing it. And
cameras. I'm not going to be breaking any speed limits, am I?
I really don't think so. Legs and gone, happy days. So I forgot to mention what road we've just come down, but now we're at this roundabout, which is quite important. We're at the 8 Towers pub, and in the background you can actually see the cooling towers of Fiddler's Ferry power station. Do you mind? Yeah, this is quite interesting. I think them towers are quite nice, and you can't really see them from here, but I mean, whatever. We're now going to go down there where that Witness Waterfront sign is, and I'll keep you in touch from there. The catalyst, that's the aim. The aim is on the sign. Let's go. Woo! Nice.
Oh, we can't be far now.
Not really. Right, we've got one more walk through industrial estates. Not like we didn't do that in the first half.
We may well be entering parts of the original railway sign.
Yes, yeah, so realistically, yeah, this is around where it is, because the swing bridge that we're going to find, or that we're going to cross last, that you'll see later, is indeed the one from the track, and you have seen that picture. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I'm quickly going to brief kind of where we just walked. So I'll get the map up now, and we would have started here at this roundabout, and we would have walked down this road, then this road, then this road, then we would have ended up at the 8 Towers pub, then we've crossed the roundabout like you would have seen in that clip, and then we're now here down this industrial
at the last stretch of corner.
Yeah. Okay, now, to as much as we're happy to see this, because quite frankly, it's out of us a bit. This is also quite important because this is probably where the line came down, okay? So we later have reason to believe that this kind of isn't where the line goes. So the likelihood of it running down here, what I'm saying here. Okay. Down this Mossbank Road here, and then it'd run down here to where we are now walking, okay? This is to where a live railway still stands, and it's actually a live cargo line that goes from Warrington, I believe it is, all the way to Manchester. All goes from Warrington all the way to Liverpool. So here we go. We'll join back at the railway. The railway gate. Okay, we're here and we're about to walk on our second railway line. This one is operational, however.
There's no red light.
Yeah, as you can see, the green light is on, and as you'll see when we get close to it, it says clear, and then it's the swing bridge. So yeah, we'll approach it. You can look down the railway line, and then we're good. So let's have a look at this. Come on, here we go. Green light, clear.
Oh.
Look at this. No, but we are on another railway line. Look at this, another railway line, another load of iron sleepers, which you didn't really get, and concrete ones there. Yeah, this is actually another cargo line as well, which is really interesting.
It's for Warrington and things. Oh my god, it's the swing bridge.
Yeah, and this is the swing bridge. So.
Not the one with the catalyst though, is it?
Yes.
There's one further up.
No, there's not. This is it. Okay guys, so we're there at the swing bridge. I'll get a photo in a minute to compare it with the one that we've got from the old ones. Down there is the flower, I forgot what it's called, future flower on the Witness Estuary. Yeah, and then this way is the catalyst where we'll be heading to finish it, as that is the last stop of the cargo line. So I believed that the two swing bridges that are going to be on screen were the same swing bridge, and now we believe that they're not, and you'll see where we think that black and white swing bridge is in a minute. Basically, we have now reached Spike Island, and we've realised that the swing bridge that we were at isn't actually the cargo line swing bridge, and that this is it here. So now, this did used to be a footbridge up to quite recently, however now they have fenced it off, and as you can see it would have had the swing mechanism in there, and it would have swung across here. Yeah, it would have swung across to here, and then would have swung itself back into there, meaning that the cargo line would have come in from over there somewhere, which hopefully we'll be able to see if we line it up on a map. We're now following the path around the edge of Spike Island. There is the River Mersey and the kind of floodable estuary, I believe you can call it. And this will run all the way down here. The kilns,
basically what we're walking on now is an actual bit of the railway line, because it ran all the way around the outside, loads of different sidings, so this whole entire area was taken up by the actual line itself and everything that it serves, so the coal, the station itself, which was just after the swing bridge, in fact, just around the corner, and then this whole entire area. So when we get to the lock, that will be officially the end of our journey along the St Helens to Runcorn Gap Railway, which is where we will end. But until then, we'll see some more photos and stuff of the actual railway. And we're going first. I think it probably went up there.
Yes.
It's the sort of area Basically, it was busy back in the 60s when it was actually using for its purpose a coal thing.
Okay, following Spike Island now, it is very busy around here, so I don't think we'll be doing many videos. However, we will record walking across the loch where it did indeed finish. There's the Castellist Museum in the background, which is like a replacement.
Heaven to my ears
It's
my eyes.
And it's not. It's actually a replacement to the to the stations or whatever, I believe, and would function into getting out to the Mersey. So
yeah, basically all of this area where we are, this mid bit here, this bit of water was actually there.
Yes.
And they had a little bridge over this as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So basically it curved round and went along the side here where this bit of path is there.
So basically every path here on Spike Island is essentially,
It never went across the lock, it never went across that side, it will never stay this side.
As you can see, there's a little bit that dips in here at the Mersey, and that does indeed flow out.
Yeah, this was actually served, this went through, and this was sort of a bridge over.
So we're going up to the locks now as well. Right guys, we have finished. We're now here. We're at the Castellist Museum. We have actually finished it. Now I'll try and tell you all the information about what we done, how long it is. Like for all the people who go, it's about 24,000 steps is what we've done today, which is a lot. But no, me and Ryan are both very tired. Yeah, my feet are definitely sore. But overall, I can tell you how, obviously, when it was on the steps, you should have been able to see, how long we did as well. I can calculate that.
But the thing is, our length is different because we keep stopping all
exactly.
the time to
So
do videos.
I can just average it off Google Earth. But yeah, that's it. So we've done it, and this was indeed the St Helens to Runcorn Gap Railway. I hope you did enjoy, and we'll catch you all in another one. Goodbye.